Welcome once again to the Truly Human Company, where we look at the pillar on business model. And today, part of the business model, Truly Human Business Model, we are going to be looking at value proposition. And it's going to be an interesting class. So hold on tight so that you can follow this and you learn something new. The Truly Human Business Model and the value proposition. Now, a little bit about myself first before we proceed. I am Dimeji Olotumehin. I'm the CEO of Mega Growth Solutions Limited, based here in Nigeria. So a couple of years ago, we started working on the truly human concept. And then this particular year, we're able to, based on interactions with Bob Chapman, the chairman and CEO of Barry Wehmiller, we came upon the Truly Human Company. And one of the pillars of the Truly Human Company is the Truly Human Business Model. So what we do is this: we help teams become truly human leaders and organizations become truly human companies. So if you want your company to become truly human, then we are the people to call upon so that we can work with you. We don't actually do it outside, we do it with you. We follow the human-centered design concept to design whatever we're doing and to transition companies from the traditional way they do business to a truly human way. So here are a couple of books that we've written. We have the Truly Human Employee, we have the Truly Human Leadership, Truly Human Company, and the latest one is a Truly Human School. These are interesting books that we created so that we can actually transform the world, transform the mindset of people so we can build a better world. Now, how do we help clients? You see, one is this: we help you design your truly human culture. We transform your culture so that it could be truly human. And it creates an environment that's actually caring, that brings out the best in your people. The second thing is this: we help you design a business model that is truly human. And you know, most businesses, you try to help people while making money. But here, you're making money while elevating the experience of people. Most people that have the traditional business model are people that want to give back to society. You get me? After making the money, they want to give back to the society. But with a truly human business model, it's not like that. Your impact upon people, you get me? That is the way you make money. So which means you're giving back to the people while making money at the same time. So we're going to see some of this in the business model, Truly Human Business Model canvas that we have here, so that we're focusing today on just the value proposition. Then the third thing we do is we build your people to be truly human. You see, because the way you build your people determine how they build your business. The way you treat your people impact the way they treat others, including your customer, your investors, and the community where they live. Those are the stakeholders, and also the way they treat their family. So this is what we do. And if you want to make that particular transition, good. Come and let us discuss and see how best you can actually become a truly human company. Because our goal is this: in the next 50 years, that about 70% of businesses in the world that are existing and startups are actually going to be based, truly human based. You get me? They're going to embrace this concept from startup state, or the ones that are already existing will adopt it and it will become part of them. Now, here is the truly human business model canvas. Now we have at the top the internal people, at the side the external people, then we have the value proposition. So what we're going to be looking at is, we're going to be looking at just this particular framework of the business model, from external people to value proposition to internal people. That's what we're looking at. Now, what is value proposition? Value proposition in a truly human company is the promise of value to all stakeholders of the business. You get me? There are different stakeholders in each business. The normal value proposition is for the customer, but in a truly human company, the value proposition is not just for the customer, it is for every single one that one way or the other is actually affected by what the business does. We start from the employee, the customer, the investors, and the community where the people live, including their family. So even their family, there's a value proposition for the family, because the family also belong to a community where the employee actually live in. So unlike the normal business model, the traditional business model that only focus on the business, the truly human business model goes beyond that and even look at the family. You get me? Because the person that comes, the employee that works there, they understand that he is someone else's child, he is someone else's spouse. So the value proposition, apart from just to that person, it also goes to the family that person belongs to. You get me? Because that family is a community, and also the environment where he lives or she lives. So truly human value proposition helps you create value for everybody. You get me? That means every single person matters. If you create value only, you have a promise of value for your customers only, then you are saying that the customer is the only one that matters. And this brings us back to the saying where someone said the customer is actually the king. It may have been true for a self-centered company that existed till the 1980s. But for a truly human company, the customer is not king. You get me? Every single person is a king. The employee is a king. The customer is a king. The stakeholder, the investor, everybody is a king. And it is, the business is a relationship, a network, and an interaction between all kings. It is a partnership. It is a partnership between the employer and the employee. They are all kings in their own right. The company, the employee, and the customer, everyone is a king. So it is a partnership. A truly human value proposition, it's all about partnership, because a truly human company is partnership based. So employee experience. Now, what is your promise to your employee? The promise to the employee results in employee experience and employee engagement. So if you are, you make a promise to your customer, your employee, your internal people, then you're trying to get them to have an experience and also to engage in whatsoever you're doing. Because if your promise is what they actually want, then the engagement will be there. What is the promise to your customer brings about customer satisfaction and also evangelism. So your customer become an evangelist for your business. That is, if you're able to fulfill that particular promise that you make. What is the result of your promise to your investors, or investor in fulfillment, and also reinvestment? Because when the investor is happy, the investor wants to reinvest in the business. What is your what comes out of your promise to the community? Happiness and also engagement. You get me? The community become engaged in your business, and they want to see how your business can actually be protected. So here we are. This is a value proposition canvas, just a part of the business model So you have on one part to the external people, you have an offering, you have an impact. You get me? You offer them something, and then whatever you offer, when you deliver on it, it is an impact. Now, your internal people, your offering to them is growth. You get me? And the way to get that particular growth is, the way for them to get the growth, you get me, is based on your culture. So in order to serve your internal people, focus on culture. In order to serve your external people, focus on impact. You get me? Your value proposition must bring a promise that only your culture can deliver. Your value proposition to your external people should be an impact. There has to be a change. You get me? Whatever you are in business to do must change their lives. So that is your proposition to your external people. To your internal people, they have to grow, and they have to understand that in this particular place, what I become is much more important than what I actually am. What your stakeholders want becomes your promise of value to them. Now, I want you to understand this. You get me? You don't just make a promise to your stakeholders. You have to get to know what they really want. You get me? What they want becomes your value proposition to them. That is the promise of your value to them. If you don't know what they want, whatever you promise may not really be what they want. So they are coming there, they are interacting with you, they are partnering with you so that they can actually know, they can get what they want. What is in it for them? You get me? There's always something in it for them, and it is your role to create what is in it for them. And that is why we are doing this, so that you get to understand that you need to deliver something to them, and what you deliver to them should be of value to them. And value, just like we say, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Value is in the hand of the receiver. You get me? Only the person that receives value know whether it is valuable to him or not. So when you create value, don't just create it in isolation. Don't just make your promise in isolation. Make your promise based on what you understand that that particular stakeholder wants. Now, what do your employees want? You get me? Most times we can actually look at it. They want freedom. The freedom can be freedom to work wherever they want, freedom to earn whatsoever they want to earn, and so on. They want growth, and they want opportunities. So if you can actually build your value proposition for your employees based on this, you will get the best set of people come. But you see, each people, in a teaching I have that I call the levels of employee. Now, in the levels of employee, you have different levels, and each level have what they want. There's a lower level that all they want is money. You get me? So you need to target which employee level do I want? Do I want the highest level? Because at the highest level, all they want is freedom, growth, and opportunities. And when they have that, they will give you all the best. So depending on what you want, but you need to get to understand the kind of employees you want, the kind of people you want as internal people. You need to understand what exactly do they want, so that you position yourself to give it to them. What do your customers want? You know your target customers. You get me? You need to get to know what they want. And when you know what they want, then you build your value proposition to them, your promise of value to them based on what they want. Because that is the thing that will excite them. If you tell them what you want without telling them what they want, they'll look at you and they won't really engage in that partnership. So partnership simply means, oh, what do you want? You get me? Now, they may not really know what they want. That is why you need to observe them and you need to empathize with them. You know your target market, you know your target customers. So empathize with them, walk in their shoes, and understand what is it they want. The next is this: what do your investors want? Don't assume that all investors want money back. You need to you need to observe them also. You need to empathize, walk in their shoes to understand what is it this particular investor wants. If you know you don't want to promise somebody return on his money, then don't go for investors that actually want quick return on their money. Go for an investor, truly human company, go for investors that are in the game the long term, because you are playing an infinite game. You get me? It is a game that will last beyond you. So you need a set of investors that understand this. So you need to get to understand them, then make the promise based on what they want. And the investor's promise, your promise to the investor will include the promise to the customer. It will include a promise to the employee. You get me? Because he needs to understand this. Because the way you treat your employee will determine how they treat the customer. What do the communities want? Now, most communities actually want leadership. They want truly human leaders. They want people that care for them. Now, once you know what the communities need, it doesn't mean that you need to donate money there. Your people become the product. You go back to the people, your own people, your employees, and begin to develop them in that particular order so that your people can actually become what the community answer to the community needs, or they will become what the community actually wants. So yours now is to go back and develop your people. If the community wants leadership, then go back and develop every one of your people into truly human leaders. Let them understand how to care so that and treat them well, so that when they get back into those communities, they will treat everyone in that community right. So it is your responsibility to get to understand what is it my stakeholder want. Don't just focus on the customer like they do in the traditional business model or traditional businesses. In a truly human company, you focus on all the stakeholders because everybody matters. You need to promise value to everyone because they matter. If you don't promise them value, it simply means you don't really value them. But we know that in a truly human company, everybody matters. Now, the promise to your employee is your culture. That is what your promise is. It is your culture. So you need to fashion out your culture so that it can actually give your employees what they want. You develop what we call the truly human culture. You get me? When you have that particular culture, it serves your employees right because it fits them. You attract the kind of people who actually have the want that you are going to meet. If your want is to give, if you create within your workplace a culture of freedom and innovation, now you don't need people that are actually looking for money. You get me? Because you need people that will fit into that particular culture. And at the end of the day, they will say, yes, our company actually meet what we want. Then we look at this. You have the value proposition, you have the promise, then of course, you're giving your people growth because in a truly human company, what you give them is growth. You give them freedom, you give them growth, you give them opportunities. So that makes up your culture. You get me? It is a culture of care. You have to care for them. If you care for them, you invest in them to grow. If you care for them, you give them the freedom to be all that they can be and earn all that they can earn. And if you care for them, you're going to create opportunities for them so that they can actually grow and also achieve all that they want to achieve. Your promise to your external customer or your external people is impact. You get me? You are constantly providing leadership, but the leadership, relationship, opportunity, you're constantly creating for every single one. You get me? So the promise to your external customer is an impact. So you want to tell them, see, the way we start by the end of this, your life will not be the same. I'm going to bridge a gap in your life. I'm going to fill a hole. I'm going to do all of those things, but your life will not be the same. There's going to be an impact, because a truly human company is an impactful business. It impacts all stakeholders. None is left out. You get me? So you need to promise them that. Now, delivering promise, the key to impact is delivering promise to your internal people. You want to make impact to all those other stakeholders, then you need to deliver your promise to your internal people. And who are your internal people? Your employees. Deliver value to them, and your customer, your investor, the communities are all going to be taken care of. So your major focus should be on your people. That is where your major focus should be, on your people. That's how the truly human company does. Focus on your people, the value proposition you give to them, deliver it. Deliver that value proposition, and they will be happy. You get me? When they are happy, because like Bob Chapman would say, that the way you treat the people that you are privileged to lead impacts the way they treat every other person, including your customers, your investors, and so on. So treat them right. And the best way to treat them, deliver on the promise. You get me? Create the environment where they can be all that they want to be and earn all that they can earn. Once you create the environment and they are happy, every other person will be happy. So we've seen what the value proposition is in a truly human company. So you need to be highly intentional and become a truly human company. Don't wait till 50 years from now. Why don't you start now and become a truly human company? And we'll help you by developing a people-centric purpose. Then we'll help you transform your people to truly human leaders. We'll design for you a truly human business model. Then also develop a truly human culture. Then design a truly human employee experience, because all other experiences are dependent on this. This is a great opportunity. We are excited about what we're doing and how companies will actually be transformed to become truly human. This is a cause for us. You get me? This is a calling. You know, it's not just something we do for the sake of doing. It is a calling. And we are so passionate about helping you, you get me, get this thing right so that we can build a better world. The businesses can be a force for good, you get me, if they will be transformed into truly human. Why don't you transform your business today into a truly human company so that the world can celebrate your business, the world can become a better place because of the business you're doing. Your business is actually a force for good. Then let it transform the world. Let it change the lives of people. Let it impact every single person in this world. When we have more businesses becoming truly human companies, what we're going to have is a better world. A world where our humanity is alive. And when our humanity is alive, oh God, it will be like heaven on earth. Let us make it an El Dorado. Turn your business today into a truly human company.